The stars above planet Row 7 were peaceful, bright, calm. No one saw the war coming. Sergeant Alex Ward, a human soldier, had just finished his 3-year patrol mission on the outer edge of the galaxy. He was tired, covered in dust, and just wanted to sleep. His boots were worn out, his armor scratched, but he was still breathing. He had survived pirates, radiation storms, and even a wormhole collapse. But nothing had prepared him for what came next. His ship was flying back toward Earth territory when the emergency alarm screamed, "Zzzt! Warning! Unidentified ships detected." Alex looked out the window. A fleet of dark triangular ships appeared. No symbols, no response to hails. Just silent like sharks moving toward prey. "Who the hell are they?" he muttered. Suddenly, the Galactic Federation channels lit up. Messages, warnings, confusion. The mysterious ships were not Earth-made, not Federation, not even from any known allied races. And then, they fired. Alex's ship was small, a scout vessel, no chance against war-class destroyers. He veered hard, dodging a plasma blast that grazed his engine. The explosion rocked the ship, throwing him against the control panel. "Emergency landing," he shouted. As his ship spiraled toward an unknown planet below, Alex saw the battlefield forming in space. Federation ships scrambling, civilian transports, trying to escape. Screams over the comms. He didn't understand. There was no warning, no declaration, no reason. Just war. The planet he crash-landed on was covered in thick green fog. His suit warned of unknown atmosphere. He strapped on his mask, grabbed his pulse gun, and stepped into the strange jungle. His left leg was hurt, but he moved. Slowly. Carefully. After, walking for hours, he saw something bizarre. A group of alien warriors, tall, four-armed, covered in dark armor, were standing in a circle, and in the middle of them was a young alien girl, kneeling with her hands tied. She was different. Pale skin, glowing blue markings, and big, terrified eyes. She looked more like a priestess than a soldier. The aliens around her laughed in a harsh language. They kicked her. She didn't fight back. Alex hid behind a tree, watching. His hand tightened on his gun. He could leave, stay hidden, save himself. But something in him snapped. He whispered, "Not today." Alex stepped out, aimed, and fired. One alien dropped. The rest screamed and drew weapons. Alex ran in, fast and focused. His soldier training kicked in. 1, 2, 3 down. The last one lunged with a blade. Alex ducked and stabbed upward with his combat knife. Clean. Breathing hard, he turned to the girl. She stared at him, shocked. She didn't run, didn't speak, just looked at him like he wasn't real. He knelt beside her and cut her ropes. "You're safe now," he said gently. But before she could answer, a voice boomed from the sky. "By order of the Galactic Federation, you are under arrest." Alex froze. A massive ship hovered above the jungle. Federation colors. Armed. Loudspeakers repeating the warning. The girl stood up shakily and whispered, "Me? They're here for me?" "No," Alex said, eyes narrowing. "They're here for me." The Federation thought he had broken protocol, that he had interfered in unknown territory, that he'd killed alien diplomats. But Alex had seen the truth. This girl was a prisoner, not a criminal. Now the real question was, who betrayed the Federation? And why was this girl so important that both sides wanted her? Alex didn't move. The sky above him was filled with Federation drones scanning the jungle. Floor, bright blue lights moved across the trees. The voice from the speaker repeated coldly, "Surrender immediately. You are charged with unauthorized engagement in a protected zone." The alien girl trembled beside him. Alex turned to her. "What's your name?" She hesitated, then said softly, "Silari." "Okay, Silari, we need to move." She looked at him with wide, glowing blue eyes. "Why did you save me? You don't even know who I am." "I didn't need to," Alex replied. "I saw what they were doing. That was enough." Silari seemed to study him, like she didn't believe people like him still existed. Above them, a search drone fired a warning blast into the ground just 10 feet away. A tree exploded into flames. "We need cover," Alex said. He grabbed her hand and ran. They found a small cave beneath a cluster of roots. Inside, it was dark and damp, but safe, at least for now. Alex sat down, breathing heavily, and looked at her again. Her wrists were still raw from the ropes. Her white robe was torn and stained. But it wasn't just her appearance that caught his attention. It was something else, something unnatural. "Those marks on your skin," Alex said quietly. "They're glowing. Are they tech implants?" "No," she said. "They're birthmarks. I was born like this." He blinked. "That's rare." She nodded. "I'm not normal for my species. I was hidden all my life, until they found me. They called me a freak, or a weapon." Alex's heart sank. He had seen how some alien factions treated anything different. But a weapon? "What do you mean, weapon?" She looked away. "I don't know. Just, when I get scared, strange things happen. Sometimes things around me burn, or float, or vanish. The elders said I carried the core energy. Something old, forbidden." Alex stared at her. "So, you're dangerous?" "I don't want to be," she whispered. Before he could reply, his earpiece crackled. A voice, one he recognized, came through. "Sergeant Ward, this is Commander Lennox. Stand down and surrender. You are surrounded. If you do not come out in 10 minutes, we will assume hostility and act accordingly." Commander Lennox, Alex's old superior. Tough, by the book, but not a murderer. Still, this wasn't right. Alex replied, "Commander, the girl is not the threat. The real threat is those raiders she was with. They were torturing her." Lennox answered coldly, "That girl is classified as a galactic risk asset. She must be taken into custody immediately. You're interfering with an active retrieval mission." Alex's fists clenched. "You mean she's a prisoner?" "She's a danger," Lennox replied. "Don't make this worse, Alex." The line went dead. Silari looked terrified. "You should turn me in," she said. "If they catch you protecting me, they'll kill you." Alex smiled faintly. "You don't know humans very well." He stood, loading his sidearm. "We don't run from the truth. Not when someone needs us." Silari's eyes shimmered, not from fear, but something else. Was it hope? Suddenly, the cave lit up with blue light. A Federation drone had found the entrance. It scanned the two of them, then activated its weapon. But before it could fire, Silari raised her hand instinctively, and the drone stopped. Mid-air. Frozen. Alex stared in disbelief as the metal body shook and shattered, without her touching it. The pieces clanged to the cave floor. Silari gasped and collapsed. "I didn't mean to." Alex caught her. "It's okay. You saved us." But deep down, he now understood why the Federation was scared. This girl wasn't just different. She could bend the world without touching it. He didn't know if she was a weapon, or something much bigger. Alex had carried wounded teammates before, but never like this. Silari's breathing was shallow. Whatever energy she used to destroy the drone had drained her. Her skin was pale and her glowing marks were fading. "We can't stay here," Alex whispered, adjusting her in his arms. "They'll send more." He stepped out of the cave. The jungle was too exposed, too open. He needed to find shelter, real shelter. In the distance, he spotted the wreckage of a downed Federation shuttle. Smoke still curled from its side. But maybe it still had power cells, medical kits, or a working scanner. "Hang on," he told her gently. Each step was heavy. He was tired, his back ached, and his leg was bleeding again. But he kept going. Finally, he reached the crash site. No bodies. Maybe the crew had already been taken. The front panel was blown open. Inside, sparks flickered, but the systems were still humming. Alex laid Silari down gently on a padded bench. He grabbed a med kit, injected her with a stim serum, and started cleaning her wounds. She stirred. "Why are you helping me?" "Because you didn't ask for any of this," he replied. "And you don't deserve to be hunted." She looked up at him with soft eyes. "You don't even know what I am." "I don't care," Alex said simply. "I know who I am, and I don't leave innocent people behind." Her hand reached out, hesitant, trembling, and rested on his. The moment their skin touched, the shuttle lights flickered. The scanner systems turned on. Alex blinked. "Did you do that?" "I didn't mean to," she said, eyes wide. "It just happens when I'm close to people who feel strong." Alex didn't know what that meant, but he didn't have time to figure it out. The shuttle scanner beeped again. Incoming signatures. 6 soldiers. Federation elite. Armed. "Close, damn it," Alex hissed. He looked around. There were no weapons except his pistol, no shields, no backup, and no way he was handing her over. He turned to her. "Do you trust me?" She paused, then nodded. "Good, because I'm about to break every law I swore to protect." 10 minutes later, the Federation team arrived at the shuttle wreck. Leader, Lieutenant Raynox, cold, efficient, loyal. They approached carefully. Inside, the shuttle looked empty until they found Alex standing alone near the rear door. His hands were up. "I'm here," he said calmly. "Just me." Raynox narrowed his eyes. "Where is the girl?" "She left. I let her go." Raynox stepped closer, weapon raised. "You're lying. That girl's power signatures are off the charts. She's here." Alex didn't flinch. "You want her that bad? Maybe ask yourself why." Behind Raynox, a soldier scanned the shuttle. "Sir, there's no trace of her." That wasn't true, of course. Sayalari was hiding in the maintenance compartment under the floor. Alex had jammed the sensor panel before they came. Raynox sighed. "Sergeant Ward, you just signed your own death order." Alex smirked. "Yeah, well, I've had worse days." Suddenly, the shuttle's lights went red. Doors locked. A soft hum filled the air. Raynox's eyes widened. "What is this?" Alex shouted. "Now, Sayalari!" From beneath the floor, Sayalari burst upward in a flash of light. Her eyes glowed like twin moons. A wave of invisible energy slammed outward, knocking all the soldiers off their feet. She didn't kill them, just disarmed and stunned them. But that was enough. Alex grabbed her hand. Together they ran out of the shuttle into the wild. As the sun began to set behind the jungle trees, the 2 fugitives found a quiet place to rest. Sayalari leaned against him, exhausted again. Alex looked up at the sky. Now he was a wanted man. She was a hunted asset. And they had no one but each other. "I guess we're partners now," Alex muttered. Sayalari smiled weakly. I could get used to that. But deep inside, Alex knew. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. Because if the Federation wanted her this badly, then the truth about who she was might shake the entire galaxy. That night, the jungle stayed quiet, but Alex couldn't sleep. He sat beside the small fire he made with old twigs and scrap wires. The crackling flames gave off just enough warmth to keep Sayalari from shivering. She was curled under a survival blanket, resting her head on a folded jacket. Her breathing was soft and steady. He looked at her glowing skin again. The blue patterns had dimmed, but every now and then they pulsed, like a heartbeat. Alex whispered to himself, "What are you really?" He opened the stolen data pad he took from the Federation shuttle earlier. He had hacked it during their escape. Now he scrolled through her profile file and stopped cold. Name, Sayalari Van Rachla. Classification, Forbidden Class, Origin Wing Starseed. Status, Subject of Project Arcborn DNA Level, Tier 0, Celestial Level Mutation Risk Level, Omega Black Order, Capture alive or kill if resistance is extreme. Do not allow contact with Earth citizens. Alex sat back, stunned. Project Arcborn? I've heard that name before, he muttered. It was an old rumor in the Federation military. Whispers about a secret breeding experiment between advanced alien races and lost species. Most thought it was fake, myth, conspiracy. But Sailari wasn't a myth. She was living proof. Suddenly she stirred. Her eyes opened, tired but clear. You read the file, didn't you? Alex nodded slowly. You're not just an alien. You're something they made? I don't know if they made me, she whispered. But I was born in a lab. I never had parents, only doctors, scientists, machines. They called me the seed of the lost flame. He frowned. That sounds like a prophecy. Sailari nodded. Some ancient species believed one day someone would be born with enough energy to awaken the forged star, an ancient sun core weapon hidden in deep space. They believe I'm that key. Alex stared at her in disbelief. So you're a weapon? That can wake an even bigger weapon? She looked away, ashamed. Yes, and I hate it. Alex's voice softened. You're not a weapon. You're a person. You saved me, remember? She smiled weakly. And you saved me first. Just then, a sudden chirp came from Alex's portable scanner. A red blinking dot appeared on the screen. He checked it. Movement 3 clicks away, closing in fast. Sailari sat up, alert again. Federation? Alex shook his head. No, not Federation signal. Something else. Bigger. The ground rumbled. Then came the shrill screech of metal grinding on metal. The trees nearby cracked as something massive walked through the jungle. And then it appeared. A mecha titan. 7 meters tall. Rusted from ancient wars but still alive. A walking machine, and it was heading straight for them. Alex swore under his breath. How the hell is that thing still active? Sailari stepped forward, her marks glowing stronger again. Maybe I can stop it. No. Alex blocked her. You'll pass out again. She looked up at him. Then you have to trust me. Like I trusted you. He hesitated, then stepped back. She raised her hand, focusing. The mecha titan stopped mid-step. For a second it shuddered, its joints creaking. Then, it knelt. Alex's mouth dropped. It obeyed you? Sailari fell to her knees. It recognized my blood. The Arkborn were designed to control old tech from the Star Ages. Alex rushed to her side. You did it. You controlled it. She whispered faintly. I didn't control it. It welcomed me. He held her tightly as she passed out again. Behind them, the mecha titan stayed kneeling, like a guardian, and Alex finally understood. This wasn't just about running anymore. This was destiny. Someone had bred her to control forgotten weapons of the galaxy. And now that power was awake. Everyone would come for her. The jungle air turned cold. Alex sat beside the still unconscious Sailari as the massive mecha titan remained kneeling like a silent stone statue behind them. The glowing lines on Sailari's skin had faded once again. Every time she used her strange energy, she seemed to collapse deeper into exhaustion. Alex's scanner blinked again. A red signal appeared, then another, and another. Incoming. Fast. Deadly. Not Federation. He tapped the screen. Class ID. Hunter Class Executioner code name. Ravenwraith. Alex's breath caught in his throat. The Federation didn't send regular soldiers anymore. They had sent a hunter. Hunters were machines built like nightmares. Silent, fast, smart, and built for one purpose. Eliminate priority targets without mercy. Only the worst criminals or the highest threats ever triggered their release. And now, Sailari was marked for one. Alex stood gritting his teeth. They want a war? Fine. He activated the Mecha Titan's console, hoping to use its ancient systems. A broken voice rasped from the screen. Awaiting master input, energy link required. He glanced at Sailari. She needed to wake up. But there wasn't time. Then a noise pierced the night air. A faint whirring hum, followed by a metallic thud. Something had landed. Alex grabbed his gun. His hand trembled. Not from fear, but from knowing exactly what was coming. The trees ahead shimmered, then split apart like sliced paper. Out stepped the hunter. It didn't walk, it glided. Its body was sleek, black, covered in thin plates that shifted like a shadow. Its head had no face, just a single red slit for an eye. It didn't speak. It didn't need to. The message was clear. Kill the girl. Kill the human. Alex opened fire. Bright flashes of blue light lit up the trees. The hunter dodged effortlessly. Not a single shot landed. It moved like smoke, vanishing and reappearing behind him. A blade sliced through the air. Alex blocked with his forearm shield but was knocked back. He hit the ground hard. Blood filled his mouth. The hunter turned toward Sailari, still unconscious on the ground. "No, you don't," Alex growled. He threw a plasma grenade at the hunter's feet. It exploded in a burst of electricity, stunning it for only a second, but enough time for Alex to sprint to Sailari. "Wake up," he shook her. "Sailari, please, I can't do this without you." Her eyes flickered open, barely. She whispered, "I hear the Titan calling me." "Then answer it," Alex said, holding her hand. Her skin lit up again, bright like a sunrise. Behind them, the Mecha Titan glowed with ancient fire. Its eyes turned from dead gray to blazing white. It we slowly, powerfully, like a giant waking after centuries. The hunter turned. It scanned the Mecha Titan. Threat detected. The two machines charged. The jungle shook with the impact. The Mecha Titan slammed its arm into the hunter, who twisted midair and sliced at the Titan's armor. Sparks flew. Metal screamed. Alex carried Sailari to cover behind. A large root wall. "You did it," he said, gasping. "I didn't do anything," she replied weakly. "It protects me on its own. It remembers me." They watched as the Titan fought back, punching with fists the size of boulders, smashing trees as it tried to keep up with the agile hunter. But the hunter was smart. It launched a thin spike that pierced the Titan's chest. The ancient machine groaned. "No," Sailari cried out. She stood, shaky but fierce. Her eyes glowed again, but this time her voice echoed, layered like two beings speaking as one. "You will not hurt my guardian." A pulse of light blasted from her body. The hunter paused. It tried to move, but its limbs began to lock up. Sailari stepped forward, eyes burning blue-white. "You are a machine of destruction, but I am a child of the flame. Leave, or I will end you." The hunter made one last move, launching its blade, but the Mecha Titan caught it mid-swing and crushed it. The battle was over. The hunter's remains sparked, then fell into silent pieces. Alex exhaled, hands on his knees. "I can't believe we're still alive." Sailari dropped to her knees, completely drained. "Me neither." Alex sat beside her, brushing dust from her face. "That thing, that voice you used, was it you?" She shook her head. "It was something older, deeper, like a memory buried in my blood." He nodded slowly. "Whatever it was, you're starting to wake it up." She looked at him with tired eyes. "Now do you see why they fear me?" "I do," Alex said. He touched her hand gently. "But I don't fear you." For the first time, her lips curved into a small, real smile, and behind them, the broken stars blinked above like silent witnesses. The jungle was still. The air smelled like scorched metal and broken bark. The Mecha Titan stood frozen, steam rising from its limbs. The hunter's body lay in pieces at its feet, silent and unmoving. Alex leaned against a rock, his shirt torn and soaked with sweat. His pulse had finally slowed down, but his thoughts hadn't. He looked at Sailari. She was sitting quietly, arms wrapped around her knees, the glowing lines on her skin now flickering dimly. Her head leaned back against the Titan's leg like it was a giant statue watching over her. Alex spoke softly. "You okay?" She nodded, but her voice was faint. "I used too much energy. It feels like my bones are vibrating." "You saved both of us," he said. "Again." She gave a small, tired smile. That's becoming a habit. Later, while the fire crackled between them and the jungle calmed, Alex pulled out the Federation datapad again. There's more, he muttered. More files they buried deep. He tapped into the restricted layers. Layers only officers with Omega clearance could see. Somehow the fight had unlocked a data surge, and now secrets were pouring out. He read the file out loud. Project Arcborn. Subject lineage. Hybrid of 3 ancient species, human, Illyrian, and Fornari. Purpose: create a being that can locate and awaken the forged star. Outcome: 1 subject survived, the child known as Sayalari Venrala. Sayalari's breath caught. 3 species? Alex nodded slowly. You're part human. She blinked in disbelief. But I've never been to Earth. I never even met a human before you. You were never supposed to, Alex said. They made you, then locked you away. He kept reading. Earth Command was never informed. Only High Council members approved. Any contact between the subject and Earth is considered a high-level breach. Destroy the human if attachment is formed. Alex stopped reading. A cold silence fell between them. He met her eyes. They knew. They knew the risk of you forming a bond with someone like me. She looked at him, slowly, sadly. Because it could awaken me, or make you impossible to control. She reached forward and gently touched his hand. I don't want to be a weapon. I don't want to awaken anything. I just want to be free. Alex nodded. Then we make that happen. Together. Suddenly, the Mecha Titan's chest opened with a slow hiss. Inside was a glowing orb, gold and blue, pulsing, with life. Sayalari stepped forward, drawn to it like it called her. She touched it. A projection appeared in the air, an old message, dusty and flickering. A robed alien figure spoke. If you are hearing this, it means the Arcborn has found you. Listen well, child. You are not a tool. You are not a mistake. You are the bridge between what was and what will be. Do not trust the Federation. They feared what they could not control. That is why they erased us. But now, you must decide your path. Awaken the forged star, or destroy it forever. The message ended. Silence again. Sayalari turned to Alex. What would you do? He stood beside her and said, I'd choose freedom, not just for you, but for every species they tried to control. She nodded slowly. Then we have to reach the forged star before they do. Alex looked up at the sky. I hope we're not too late. Back near Federation Command, alarms were sounding. Reports of the destroyed Hunter class. Glitches in Project Arcborn's hidden files. Someone had broken the chains. An emergency council meeting was called. One shadowed voice said, The girl is bonding with the human. If they reach the forged star, everything we built will collapse, another replied. Then send the destroyer. End them both. The hunt had just begun again. The night sky above them was vast, filled with stars that blinked like ancient eyes watching from beyond. Alex and Sayalari stood on the cliff edge overlooking a hidden launch pad deep in the jungle. Old tech, forgotten tech. A single beacon tower stood in the center, still pulsing weakly, just enough energy left to send one last call through the stars. This is it, Alex said. The beacon that can guide us to the forged star. Sayalari narrowed her eyes. But it hasn't been used in years. Doesn't matter, Alex replied. You don't need full power, you just need to connect. She stepped forward. Her fingertips touched the metal surface of the beacon's main panel. Instantly, her glowing marks flared to life. Energy raced through the beacon, lighting up paths and symbols that hadn't been seen for decades. A soft hum rose from the ground. Then, boom, the jungle behind them exploded. Alex turned, gun drawn. A massive shape emerged from the fire and smoke. The destroyer, not a machine, not a soldier. A bioengineered killing monster, 10 feet tall, covered in living armor, arms like blades, a mouth full of metallic teeth that twisted unnaturally. Its body was made from the DNA of every predator the Federation had ever found. Sailari gasped. They really sent it. Alex moved in front of her. Then they're desperate. The destroyer let out a horrible screeching roar. The beacon's energy was still rising. It needed time, but the destroyer didn't. It charged. Alex opened fire, but the bullets bounced off its hide. "Go!" he shouted to Sailari. "I'll hold it." "No," she cried. "It'll kill you." He turned and smiled grimly. "Then it's gonna have to work for it." Alex ran straight at the creature, dodging, claws and swipes trying to distract it. He knew he couldn't win. Not in a real fight, but he could buy her time. She closed her eyes and placed both hands on the beacon. Her entire body lit up. The tower responded, its light shooting into the sky like a sword of fire. The signal reached the stars. Coordinates locked. Forge star activated. The beacon spoke in a forgotten language. A piece of the galaxy had just awakened. But the destroyer wasn't finished. It threw Alex across the platform. Blood splashed from his mouth. As he hit the ground hard, "Alex!" Sailari screamed. The creature turned toward her. She stood tall. But something was different now. Her glow became blinding. Her hair floated in the air. Her voice, when she spoke, echoed like thunder. "You were made to kill me. But I was made to. And you." The destroyer leapt, but she didn't run. She raised both hands, and a wave of energy exploded outward. The ground cracked. The sky turned white. When the light faded, the destroyer was gone. Disintegrated, not even ash remained. Sailari collapsed to her knees, shaking, breathing hard. Alex dragged himself over to her, wounded, but smiling. "You did it," he whispered. "No," she said softly. "We did it." Far above them in deep space, the forge star responded to the signal. It pulsed once, then again. Systems began waking up after thousands of years. Somewhere in the blackness of the void, something stirred. Something massive. Something the Federation didn't want anyone to ever find, and now it was calling. Meanwhile, inside the highest chamber of the Galactic Federation, an emergency message came through. "Target has activated the ancient beacon. Coordinates for the forge star have been transmitted." The girl survived. So did the human. A cold voice replied. "Then it's time we end this with fire." Deep inside the shining heart of the Galactic Federation capital, 12 shadowy figures sat around a glowing table. These weren't ordinary leaders, they were war counselors, the highest authority above law, justice, even truth. Each wore a black hood, their faces hidden, their voices distorted. But their power, absolute. The chamber was dark, cold, silent, until the center hologram lit up with a report. Subject Sailari Van Rahla has activated the last known beacon. Coordinates to the forged star have been sent across the galaxy. She is alive. The human soldier remains with her. One figure stood. "This cannot continue. That girl was never meant to awaken." "And the human? He's become a symbol." Another spoke, sharper. "Worse. A hope." A third slammed their fist on the table. Project Arcborn was shut down for a reason. If the forged star fully awakens, it could destabilize the entire Federation. A fourth voice whispered, "Or destroy it." Silence. Then the leader finally said, "Then we give the final order." The room darkened. A command was sent. "Deploy the Judicator fleet. Target the forged star coordinates. Erase them both, before the galaxy sees what we tried to hide." Meanwhile, far across the stars, on a stolen freighter now flying toward the forged star, Alex stood beside the cockpit window. Space stretched endlessly before him. Stars moved slowly. Quiet. Peaceful. But his heart wasn't at peace. Behind him, Sailari rested on a padded seat, sipping nutrient gel, her face still pale, her glowing lines still weak. "Anything on radar?" she asked. Alex shook his head. "Clear so far." But even as he said that, something in his gut twisted. They weren't going to let them arrive peacefully. He turned to her. "Sailari, if we make it to the Forge Star and it's real, what will you do?" She looked at him seriously. "I don't want power. I don't want a throne. I want to destroy it." Alex blinked. "Destroy the Forge Star?" She nodded. "No one should have the power to wipe out planets with a thought. That's what the Forge was built for. I want to end it." Alex gave a soft smile. "Then I'll help you." She blinked. "Just like that?" "Yeah," he said. "Because the Federation isn't afraid of what you'll do with power. They're afraid you'll choose not to use it." Sailari reached out and gently touched his hand. "And they're afraid of you, because you still believe in something." Suddenly, a blaring alarm lit up the cockpit. "Warning. Warp path blocked." Alex checked the sensors. His face went pale. 10 dots appeared on the map. Then 20. Then 60. "Judicator fleet. Approaching fast." "They're here," he whispered. "And they're not here to talk." Sailari's eyes narrowed. "They're going to destroy the Forge Star." Alex pulled the controls hard. "We'll have to outrun them." But the computer voice answered, "Escape impossible. Judicator fleet within missile range." Back at Federation Command, the Council watched. "Fire," the leader said. Missiles launched from across the fleet, bright like falling stars, hundreds of them, all aimed at one small ship. But something happened right before impact. The missiles froze, mid-space. Sailari stood up inside the freighter, her skin glowing bright again, her eyes glowing like twin stars. She raised both hands. Alex looked back. "What are you doing?" she whispered. "I'm done running." The ship's power surged. The warp drive overloaded. A portal ripped open and they shot through it just as the missiles exploded behind them. Silence. Then light. Then stillness. They had arrived. Alex stared out the window. Before them floated a massive burning sun. But it wasn't a real star. The Forge Star, made by ancient hands. Dormant, but breathing. Waiting. And now, awake. Sailari exhaled slowly. "It's real." Alex nodded. "And now we have to end it." Behind them, far, in the distance, the Federation fleet regrouped, and the countdown to the final battle had begun. The Forge Star wasn't just a star. As Alex and Sailari approached in their small freighter, they could see it clearly now. A hollow sphere glowing like a sun but built like a machine. Vast rings of steel rotated slowly around its surface. Pillars of light rose from deep cracks in the metal shell. This wasn't natural. It was a weapon, disguised as a star. Alex stared at the impossible structure. "How long do you think it's been here?" Sailari stood beside him, eyes glowing softly. "It was built before the Federation, before any of us. My blood remembers it." The ship's system pinged. Docking port located. A hidden door opened on the surface of the Forge Star. They descended slowly, the ship gently locking into a landing ring. As the airlocks hissed open, a golden mist rolled inside. "Breathable," Alex said, checking the scanner. "But not normal." "It's alive," Sailari whispered. Inside the Forge Star, the air felt heavy. The walls were not metal, and not exactly. They pulsed with warmth like veins. Faint lights ran along the floor, guiding them forward. They walked through long halls carved by time. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls, changing as Sailari passed. Alex ran his fingers across one. "This place is reading your DNA. It's responding to you." "Yes," she whispered, "because it was waiting for me." At the center of the structure, they came to a massive door. As Sailari approached, it opened without a sound. Inside was the heart room. A giant orb floated in the center, spinning slowly. Inside it, storms of light swirled like galaxies. Power radiated from it, enough to melt ships, erase cities. Sci-Fi stepped forward, trembling. This is the core of the forge. This is what the Federation feared. Alex glanced at the control panel nearby. There's a system here. 2 commands. He read the ancient alien symbols. 1. Activate the star. 2. Terminate the star. She looked at him, voice shaking. They built this to force entire galaxies to obey. But now it's yours to choose, Alex said. Before she could respond, the room shook. Red lights flashed across the walls. A voice echoed through the chamber. Federation vessel breach detected. Alex turned sharply. They followed us. Back on the surface of the forge star, black ships dropped into position. Elite Federation war teams exited their transports, heavily armed. At the front stood a tall figure in golden armor, High Commander, Vrax, leader of the Judicator fleet. Bring me the girl, he ordered coldly, and kill the human. Inside the heart room, Sci-Fi gasped. They're here. Alex raised his weapon. Then we stand our ground. She stepped closer to the orb. There's a third option, she said quietly, but it's not on the panel. What do you mean? I could merge with it, she said. Not use it, not destroy it, but seal it inside me forever. Lock it where no one can reach it. Alex's eyes widened. Would that kill you? I don't know, she whispered. Maybe, but it would end all of this. Alex grabbed her shoulders. No, we'll find another way. She smiled gently. You always believe in choices, don't? You? Before he could stop her, the walls exploded. Federation soldiers stormed in. Vrax followed, gun raised. Step away from the core, he barked. Alex stood in front of Sci-Fi. She's not going with you, Vrax sneered. She belongs to us. No, Alex growled. She belongs to herself, Vrax fired. But the bullet stopped midair, frozen in a field of energy. Sci-Fi stepped forward, glowing with blinding light. I won't let this weapon harm another soul, she said. Not ever again. She turned to the orb, raised both hands, and merged. The heart room exploded in light. The soldiers were thrown back. Vrax screamed. Alex covered his face, and when the light faded, Sci-Fi floated in the air, her eyes now 2 stars, her voice layered with power. I am not your tool. I am not your weapon. I am the end of your control. Vrax tried to raise his weapon again, but it melted in his hand. The soldiers ran, and the forged star began to crumble. Sci-Fi turned to Alex. You need to go. I'm not leaving you. You have to, she whispered, her voice soft again. I'm sealing it all. If you stay, you'll be trapped inside. Alex's heart broke. Please. She reached forward, touched his cheek. You saved me, now let me save everyone else. With a final flash, she sent him flying backward. The ship caught him just before the walls shut. From space, the forged star pulsed one last time, then vanished. Not destroyed, not exploded, just gone. And with it, Sci-Fi. Alex stared out, the window of the ship drifting in silence, tears in his eyes. But in his heart, a warmth remained. She had chosen her path and changed the galaxy. Forever. 3 days later, the stars drifted silently as Alex Ward floated inside a med bay aboard a neutral rescue ship. He hadn't spoken much, not to the medics, not to the diplomats, not even to the commanders who wanted to know what had happened at the Forged Star. Because how do you explain losing someone who wasn't just powerful, but unforgettable? Sci-Fi was gone. The Forged Star was gone. The war had stopped, but not because the Federation chose peace. They were simply too stunned to move. No one had ever defied the War Council. No one had ever faced the Federation's strongest fleets and survived. No one. Except her. Alex sat up from his bed. ignoring the bandages on his chest and the pain in his leg. His hand gripped the necklace Sayalari had worn, the one he'd found on the ship after she disappeared. It pulsed faintly as if it remembered her heartbeat. "She's gone," he whispered, but something inside him said otherwise. Far away, in the ruins of a broken moon on the edge of uncharted space, a spark lit the air. A figure stood barefoot, on smooth crystal. Her hair drifted in the airless breeze. Her skin still glowed faintly, markings dim but alive. Sayalari. She gasped for breath as if waking from a long dream. "I'm alive?" The forged star was no longer inside her. It was sealed, dormant, but not destroyed. She touched her chest. I held it, but it let me go. A small robotic drone floated toward her. It scanned her silently, then displayed coordinates. Message uploading to Alex Ward. She smiled faintly. "Tell him. I'll find my way back." Meanwhile, back on Earth, things had changed. News had leaked. A human had stood against the Federation's lies. An alien girl had saved the galaxy. Whispers of rebellion began across colonies. Soldiers questioned their orders. Civilians demanded truth. The Federation tried to silence it, but it was too late. The galaxy had seen something stronger than war. They had seen hope. Alex stood alone on a balcony at the edge of Earth's capital, Tower. He looked up at the stars. He didn't know where she was. He didn't know if she was still alive. But as he clutched the necklace, it blinked once, softly, and a quiet voice echoed through the device. "I'm not gone, Alex. I'm just finding my way back to you." Alex smiled through tears, and for the first time in a long time he believed again.